I'm still in shock that this is something that they were technically able to get away with building something such as this in a residential neighborhood. The fact of the matter is, the homeowner was smart enough to read the zoning ordinances and understand that this is something that they're able to accomplish. So I will give props to the homeowner due to the fact that they were able to decipher the zoning in this area to understand that this is something that they are able to build. However, back to a point of making a pretty big mistake when they built this structure or started construction. I do think that this one mistake that we'll point out later on in this video is going to force them to demo this entire facility. What's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington, mayor of Flux City. And there is this community out in Northern Virginia that is not happy with what one of their neighbors is doing to their home. One of the neighbors in this community is literally attaching an apartment building to their single family dwelling. And a lot of people just aren't happy. And I can see why. I mean, this is a monstrosity of a facility in comparison to the types of structures that are within this community, within this neighborhood. And so I can definitely understand why folks are upset. However, it meets all zoning requirements, allowing for this resident to in turn build this huge structure in this community that just doesn't fit. It just doesn't look good at all. The insane thing about it is the structure meets all zoning requirements, which once again is crazy given the way this structure looks in comparison to the rest of the neighborhood. However, I think the homeowner of this addition, this apartment addition, made one critical mistake, which will in turn more than likely force them to tear the whole structure down. Let's get into it.
Outrage in Northern Virginia neighborhood tonight over a new addition being built onto a house. Outside's Bob Barnard in Fairfax County with the details and a look at that construction causing the uproar.
It really is a sight to behold here on Marble Lane in the Greenbrier section of Fairfax County. That three-story addition.
OMG, that is insane for this to be allowed within this community. Look at how massive this structure is, and it doesn't necessarily look like it's very well built either, but I guess that's another story. The fact that this structure is towering over all of the other homes within this community is just unbelievable. I am shocked as an investor, as a person that got into real estate to provide housing alongside with the profitability aspect of it. I'm actually shocked that this is the first occurrence of something like this happening in this community, because from an investor's standpoint, this is in a way ingenious. I know it sounds crazy to say, right? However, it's shocking that no other real estate investor saw this opportunity, bought up numerous properties in this area, and did the exact same thing that we're witnessing here.
To a home built in the 1960s that's now the
Man, the build quality on that doesn't necessarily look like they are following code. I could be wrong.
talk and outrage of the neighborhood.
I mean, it looks like a townhouse. It looks
That does not fit in that community. I mean, look at this massive apartment complex that is literally attached to this single family home. That just does not seem like that is a legit build, but it actually is.
I mean, it looks like a townhouse. It looks like a portion of a townhouse that has been added on to a small A-framed one.
I'm still in shock that this is something that they were technically able to get away with building something such as this in a residential neighborhood. The fact of the matter is, the homeowner was smart enough to read the zoning ordinances and understand that this is something that they're able to accomplish. So I will give props to the homeowner due to the fact that they were able to decipher the zoning in this area to understand that this is something that they are able to build. However, back to a point of making a pretty big mistake when they built this structure or started construction. I do think that this one mistake that we'll point out later on in this video is going to force them to demo this entire facility.
Courtney Leonard lives literally in the shadow of the new addition being built onto her next door neighbor's house.
Can you imagine not getting any sun, even when it's sunny outside, due to the fact that your neighbor has built this huge structure right next to your house and you didn't even know it was happening? You just look up one day, you start hearing, these construction crews and saws and hammers, and you're like, what the heck are they building? Are they just going to build a, bigger garage? No, they're building an apartment complex next to your single family home, and you technically can't do anything about it.
Design-wise, it doesn't look anything like what it's attached to or anything else in the neighborhood.
Courtney says there's no HOA here, so no rules that have to be followed. Other neighbors tell us they're okay with this, that 3 generations of a very nice family will be living here.
Honestly, that's a really smart idea. Having all of your family stay within one property, which in turn allows for you to keep your expenses down, helps with family camaraderie and, daycare. You can potentially allow for other family members to watch your children and help out the elderly family members, and just ultimately group economics. It just makes sense to me. Like, I really do think that we as a culture typically force our children out of the household a little earlier than what it should be, right? We force our family out once they get a certain age, and we say, hey, look, you're on your own now. Whereas if I had a home that allowed for me to incorporate, my parents, my brothers and sisters, my children, my grandparents, like, imagine having a property where everybody is baked into this one site, and it in turn just makes life, in my opinion, a little easier. I can understand from the homeowner's perspective what they're trying to accomplish here.
According to the zoning laws, they are well within their rights, and there's really nothing I can do about it.
She and her family were given no advance notice.
It seems to me that when you put something like this up, you want to talk to your neighbors about it, but we have not spoken to them since.
It feels like it's not real when you see it. I mean, you've seen it, so yeah, it's shocking.
Katie Dash lives several blocks away and says she's alarmed, like many who know about this.
And so I think we're all just concerned if it could happen to her, it could happen to any of us, and I'm still confused how it was approved.
I'm going to be honest here. If I owned a home in this neighborhood, I would absolutely be looking at how I can do what this homeowner was able to accomplish. I wouldn't do it in the same format or design as this homeowner did. I don't think this fits into the fabric of the community design wise at all. I really do think this could have been thought out a little better with regard to how they designed this structure. However, the idea of being able to add an extra 6, 7, 10,000 square feet of square footage to your property, and in turn allow for whether it be your family to move in or to create more housing and potentially convert this space into apartments, that to me would be something that I would 100% be looking at trying to figure out how to accomplish. That's just me. I think that this opportunity is something that other homeowners in this community should consider looking into, not necessarily looking at this and saying that this is a bad thing, but looking at it and coming up with their own solution to potentially increasing the square footage of their property, and once again giving them more options as a homeowner. And in many ways, imagine if you're converting this into apartments, right? And you rent out these apartments for $1,700, $2,000 a month. I'm not sure what the market rate is in these areas, but imagine you being able to rent out this space, and it in turn covers your mortgage and some.
It's been weeks and weeks of back and forth, and I love this neighborhood, and the people in it have been so helpful. It just feels like there's nowhere else to go at this point.
We turned to Pat Harity for clarification. He's the Fairfax County supervisor for this area and has been out to see this with his own eyes.
Clearly does not belong in our suburban neighborhoods, a structure like that, 8.5 feet from the property line, three stories tall for the length of the lot. It has no place. And we need to fix our zoning ordinance to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Late today, we heard from Fairfax County staff that while this addition does fall within the zoning guidelines for height, as built, it's too close to Courtney's property line.
And that is the mistake that this homeowner is going to have to eat. I really think that they're about to force this homeowner to demo this entire structure due to the fact that it is too close to the neighbor's property line, which gives the city the opportunity to say, this is a no-go.
Construction has been paused. What's to come of this project is still to be determined.
The structure itself is not pretty at all. I do believe that other homeowners in this neighborhood should consider doing the same, but it also sounds like there may be some zoning changes coming down the pipeline very soon, given the amount of publicity this story actually has received up to this point. Overall, though, I really do applaud the homeowner that actually attached this apartment like structure to their home, as I really think that that was thinking outside the box. However, the box like design is something that just doesn't fit in the community, and we see that based off of community feedback and responses from the city. And so not only that, I really do think they're going to have to tear that structure down because it's too close to the other homeowner's property line, and I don't think the city is going to budge on giving the homeowner that is adding that addition any leverage for allowing for that structure to continue to be built. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.